Now we have to talk about Tupac, which I wasn't committed to, but then I watched the doc. So
didn't know you were getting that.
You have a lot of people saying stuff in there that makes it sound like maybe he was responsible for that murder, which has never been proven. That's a very serious thing.
But you have Keefe D and over in Vegas now, getting ready to go on trial for that case, saying those things.
I told you can't trust these niggas. Now Puffy done killed Tupac, man.
Puffy's a sucker, man.
You know, I have my guys with me, Thug Life guys, and we heard what he had to say. He basically said he ain't have nothing to do with my brother's murder.
We don't talk about things that are nonsense.
You think he was lying?
Quite possibly, and it's kind of looking that way. Here we are 27, 28 years later. The theory involving him is quite high on the list. Our family, you know, we still suffer. He was all wrapped up, but he was still shaking.
So do you think Puffy was involved in the shooting?
Only they can answer that question. I have my own opinion, but I wouldn't slander their name like they did mine. I wouldn't say things that I knew, you know what I mean? I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I could say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody.
See me fail, and in my mind sometimes when I'm drunk or I'm just laying down, I'll be thinking like, damn, is this true? Will I fail? Am I supposed to fail? I mean, should I just stop trying and give up? But then I'll be like, nah, hold on, that's exactly what they waiting for me to do, is to just say this is too much, I can't take it and give up. So now it's a fun little game that I cry at sometimes, I laugh at sometimes, I smile, I have good times and bad times, but it's a game. It's this game of life. Do I win or do I lose?
When 50 Cent revisited Tupac Shakur's death, it reopened a conversation hip-hop never truly laid to rest. He didn't point fingers or make direct accusations, but his words revived the same unanswered questions the streets have whispered for decades. Questions that time never erased. Known for being calculated and deliberate, the fact that 50 chose this moment to speak is exactly why it carries weight. In a culture where silence often equals survival, what does it really mean when a veteran finally breaks it?
Speaks.
Quite possibly, and it's kind of looking that way. Here we are 27, 28 years later. The theory involving him is quite high on the list. Our family, you know, we still suffer. He was all wrapped up, but he was still shaking the bed. He really wanted to tell me something. I'm assuming it was something that had to do with the hit.
I get the feeling quite strongly that you don't believe Diddy. I don't think you believe a word of him.
Seems like he got a whole bunch of power, like absolute power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
What's your message to Sean Combs? Tupac Shakur was American hip-hop's brightest light until he was shot 4 times in a drive-by attack in 1996. His death shocked the world, and Tupac's legend has only grown since his murder, along with the fever speculation about who planned it, who ordered it, and who did it. For 27 years, it was one of America's highest-profile unsolved crimes, until finally, a year ago, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was charged. He'd bragged about being inside the Cadillac from which the fatal shots were fired, albeit not by him, and awaits trial as the last surviving suspect. But there are many unanswered questions and a tangled web of claims embroidering notorious figures and an infamous East Coast-West Coast gang rivalry. Many people speculate that this web entangles P. Diddy. Sean Combs is, of course, facing trial on a battery of charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering. With his alleged crimes under the spotlight, members of Tupac's family have this week hired an investigator to examine the links between Diddy and the murder. And joining me now is Tupac Shakur's brother, Mopreme. Well, Mopreme, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I don't know what time it is there.
It's like early evening in the UK. Are you in LA?
Currently.
Yeah.
Shout out to all of my people across the pond.
Well, it's great to have you here on Uncensored. Be very keen to talk to you because obviously a lot has happened to P. Diddy in recent weeks. He's now languishing in prison. Let me start first of all, your reaction to what's happened to him.
The Netflix documentary peels back the myth around Tupac Shakur, presenting him as a man navigating chaos, loyalty, and betrayal in real time. It retraces his rise, his fearlessness, and the loneliness that power inevitably brought. Rather than feeding conspiracy theories, it restores context, pushing viewers to confront how paranoia and influence defined an entire era. And when legend begins to replace truth, the question becomes, who really gains from that shift?
I think my favorite thing about 50 Cent's Netflix Diddy documentary is how he built a timeline off of this information. And one of my favorite parts of this documentary is them really getting into the timeline of events when it comes to Tupac and Biggie. And it really gives us a lot of perspective from people that were close to the situation, and a lot of people allege in this documentary that they believe that Diddy was very jealous of Tupac. And they pretty much go through everything from the quad incident and Tupac believing that Puffy was behind it, like he said in the Vibe interview. And they lay out this whole timeline of the downfall happening perfectly, in my opinion. We are even hearing from Greg Kading, the detective that worked on Tupac and Biggie's case in this documentary. He is the investigator that did that proffer agreement with Keefe D way back in 2008, where Keefe D alleged that Diddy tried to offer him $1 million to take out Tupac and Suge Knight. And Tupac's trial with Keefe D is coming up very soon in early 2026. And we know that Diddy's name has been dropped at least 200 times during these proceedings already. So this is one case that I am definitely waiting for and I am going to cover. In Keefe D's 2008 proffer agreement, he alleged that Diddy's friend Zip Martin is the one that gave him the weapon that was used to take out Tupac. And Keefe D told the investigator Greg Kading that Zip Martin had a special compartment to keep this weapon in his car that he drove to Las Vegas. And in this documentary, we have Greg Kading confirming that Zip Martin did drive the same type of vehicle that Keefe D alleged to Las Vegas this night. And then during this documentary, we heard from the former president of Bad Boy, Kirk Burroughs, who alleged during this time, Diddy had him hiring a whole bunch of people and getting cars to drive to Las Vegas. And he is now very curious into why Diddy wanted to do this. And he said, in his opinion, he now believes that Diddy was behind.
You know, there was the rumor that after Pac got killed, Puffy gave Zip $1 million that was supposed to be handed over, and Zip ended up keeping it. And I remember when I interviewed TK Kirkland, who was actually roommates with Zip at one point. They were that close. He actually said, yeah.
The feds said that too.
He said that shit actually happened. Well, the story that has circulated was that after Tupac got killed, Puffy allegedly gave the money,
I heard,
to Zip.
Yes.
And Zip was supposed to give the money to Keefe in that.
Yes.
But he never gave the money to him.
But thank God he never gave him the money, right? Think about it. If he gave the money, Puffy will be in prison now, money for hire, a murder for hire. So thank God. It's just a true story. I'm not saying yes or no, but if he would have gave them the money,